video, and the topic would be composition. Composition is something that you must have heard on almost on your daily basis, and you might not even realize it that you actually use composition in your everyday life, sometimes even involuntarily. For example, if you're making something by hand, if you're making a card, or even if you're writing proper notes in your notebook, you tend to align certain things around the margin or leave equal spaces between each line, right? So that itself is composition. So composition helps you to give structure to your illustration and make it a lot easier for you to navigate which portion of the information is the most important and which information is secondary. So it can vary from be it, leaving margins on the sides or in between, or even the space which is left between each text. That itself is also composition. So composition doesn't really apply just to text as well. It does apply in other things as well, such as leaving equal space between images in posters, or even if you have seen, or even if you're designing something for a website, right? So the main key to master layouting is to think like a designer, right? It's not that hard at all. There are just few things that you have to keep in mind. 5 points actually. There are 5 points that you have to keep in mind when you are doing the layouting. The first one being proximity. Proximity mainly means using visual space to show the relationship of each context. Make sure that all the related items are grouped together. Right. So for example, in this invitation right here, you can see that this lower portion right here, even though there's some dummy text right here, over here probably you could write the address, right? So the address right here covered be one certain block. The name is a certain block, is a different block which is clubbed together. Or even better example would be this menu card right here, menu card design. I'll zoom in so you can see a lot better. So over here in proximity, you can see that all the appetizers are clubbed together on one side. All the Mexican favorites are clubbed together on the other side of the page. And similarly with fruits and salads, southern sandwiches, and even specialities like that. So you get the idea. Proximity means that certain information are clubbed together and it's given a certain visual space so that it shows that these items actually belong together, right? Now coming to the next portion here, which is white space. So white space doesn't literally mean like a white blank page. No, white space means negative space. So it's like how much space you want to leave between each text or each illustration, so that it gives a certain room to breathe and to make your illustration look a lot more aesthetically pleasing. Sticking to this menu design right here, you can see that there is some negative space between the headers and the body of the text right here. Right, so you can see there is some negative spaces left right here. Similarly, coming to this invitation design as well. So even though there is very minimal text right here as compared to the menu design, but see how the designer has used up this negative space to give equal room to each text, and it looks really pleasing to the eye. And the third one being alignment. The main thing about the alignment is that we have to be consistent, and when it comes to giving alignment, we could actually use the grids, physical grids in Adobe Illustrator, or we can actually just use invisible grid to leave approximately the same amount of space between each text and each illustration. Because without alignment, all your work, all your text will feel very disorganized, and you do not want that, right? Coming to the fourth one is contrast. So contrast means that one certain item will be a lot different from the other, right? So this one right here in this invitation, so you can see that, this name Mary and Alex, it's bigger, the font size is different, even the color is different. So that means that here in this name, the contrast is given. And the first thing you actually look at this invitation, this Mary and Alex is one of the first things that actually catches the reader's eye. So this also creates emphasis. Emphasis can be created by using different colors. Like right here, this color is a lot different from the rest of the text. Size of the text, and even different kinds of fonts to create contrast or emphasis. As you can see, all these points right here is applied to this invitation. So it's also, contrast is also very closely tied to hierarchy, which helps to guide the user's eye. As you can see, this Mary and Alex is the first thing that we see right here, which means that this is the most important piece of information. And lastly is repetition. Repetition means it's basically a reminder that every project should have a consistent look and feel, right? So as you can see right here in this invitation, so there's a certain theme happening, right? So this invitation can also mean, it basically means it's a wedding invitation, right? So as you can see, so the same color is used on the fonts as well on the design that's been used on the top and bottom, right? So like the text right here, Mary and Alex, have a pink shade, which is very similar to this pinkish shade right here in this icon, in this illustration, like that. Last two more points for you all to remember for composition is that composition is also kind of like this unsung heroes of design, which is not really appreciated but actually helps us a lot to design certain things. And it's a part of everything that we do. Because again, without composition, our entire creative would look very disorganized and it'll look very chaotic actually. I hope you found this